So I'm Stephen Murphy, Stephenmurphy.
Mike Provost, PRO, V as in Victor, OST as in Tom.
Mike Strock, STROCK.
Gray Livingston, GRAY LIVINGSTON.
And if it's only three, if you guys have a little bit closer.
Yep.
So
Individually when you speak.
Yeah.
individually,
Okay.
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 Yeah, sorry.
So, what happened here at the hospital with the donations?
So today, my son was honored with a walk from the room down to the surgery area. It was humbling to show for the show of respect and overwhelming with the gratitude from the family.
And tell me about Tyler, about him.
So, biggest thing about Tyler was his personality and smile. As a father, I couldn't be any proud of someone whose whole goal in life is to protect it, and at the same time, to give life when he can no longer protect it. That's humbling for a father. To know how many people he can touch and has touched, but can touch in the future with not being here, is comforting for a father and a family, knowing that he's living through other people and that he's giving life. It's a very sacred thing, and I couldn't be more proud of him. We couldn't be more proud of him as a family. You raise a son, but that son became the pillow of my wife's family and my family. He was the light. And for you guys, any?
Yeah, I think, Murph spent his entire adult life in the service of our great nation, and the fact that he was willing to donate his organs with his passing makes complete sense. It was his final act of selfless service, and I know that the Warriors tribute he just received in the hallway at Centera is exactly what he would have wanted, and it was absolutely fitting of his service and what he gave to all of us.
And how old was he when he got into the military?
He was 22, or 21, turning 22.
And was it something he had always wanted to do?
So my wife and I were both military, and he was born in Wiesbaden, Germany. And so for his growing up, he was on military installations. He had never talked about it. We had never said anything to him about, what your future looks like. My goal as a father was I wanted him to go to college, pick a profession. I didn't push him towards the military in any way. I think I was traveling at one time, and when we were living in Chicago, and my wife and he had a long conversation. Next thing I know, I was told he was going in the Navy. So I was proud of him. That was his selection. And from that point, that's where he started really making the impact in the world.
And how is your family helping out? How's your family doing these terrible things?
Standing strong in his honor, the way he would want us to.
And I live in Shicks Beach, and I just know there's so many people that love him and adore him. He seems to be very popular and knows so many people in that community.
One of the things that we've lived away from him and not in Virginia Beach. He comes home. But the one thing I've noticed since I've met all of his friends, his community, is Tyler touched people from the age of 20 to the age of 60. He had close friends at all of those ages. And I think it just is a tribute to his personality of who he was and how much he just loved being around people, loved, enjoying what life had to offer and just living it to the fullest.
Is there anything you would like him to know at this time as his family is surrounded, as he's surrounded by family and support here today, the big day?
I guess from the family perspective, one of the things that I have talked to these gentlemen about is the closeness of the community, the military community, and the friendship around this area is above reproach. I mean, it's overwhelming, the support that we've had as a family coming in here to this area. It's really humbling. I will just say that. If from people outside that doesn't see this every day on a daily basis, which it's not out there, it's unbelievable. The love and the support that we've had, I can't even begin to give my appreciation to everyone that we've touched, or everyone that's touched us, or, you know, been in contact with. It's really overwhelming.
Was organ donation something that he had always been interested in? How would you say?
So it's funny, he and I talked about it a long time ago, and it was never brought up again. But it does not surprise me in one bit. As Mike said, his life was about protecting and giving, and that's, in the end, he is give to make other people, give them the ability to live. And again, I couldn't be prouder of that as a father.
Yeah, just for added context, I mean, Murph is the type of guy that when he would drive around Chicks Beach or Virginia Beach, he had pre-made packages in his glove box with food and toiletries that he would hand out to homeless people. That's the kind of man that Tyler Murphy was.
Did any of you serve with him as a Swift?
I did, yes.
You did. What was he like? Where did you guys serve together?
So Murph and I went through selection and training together, and his tenacity and no-fail resolve it's an inspiration. I've never met someone who was completely unwilling to quit. It didn't matter what the task was or the goal was he had, he was relentless in pursuing that. And it was an inspiration to be a friend with him and to call him my best man.
And how do you want to carry on that inspiration?
Yeah, so I've known Murph for over 17 years, ever since he came into the community. And I'm not active duty, but I'm in civil service for 21 years. And so I kind of took him under my wing, and he became a best friend, a younger brother that I was able to mentor and guide. And as iron sharpens iron, one man will sharpen another. He has sharpened my blade many times, as well as I hope I've sharpened his. I used to always tell him, through all his trials and tribulations and his successes and his failures, that you've got a story to be told. I didn't think it would be under these circumstances, but he would call me coach. And I would say his story is not finished. He's got more to tell, and I think the lives he's going to touch, that he has touched and will continue to touch, even after his passing, will continue and grow.
Just a few words. Patriot, warrior, brother, son, friend. He was all that to many of us. He was like a son to my wife and I. He's been living with us on and off over the years. Recently, post-deployment, he's been living with us for the last 3 months prior to relocating back up to D.C. for his new job. So, just remember him that way.
Is there anything that we haven't asked you that you guys want us to put in there?
I'm just going to say, as a family, obviously going to miss him unbearably, and we don't even know how much we're going to miss him on a daily basis, but the way he lived his life and as many people as he's touched, that's going to be his strength going forward. And I'll just leave you with, a father couldn't be prouder of a son than I am of him.
Amen.
Not only was my son, he was my best friend. I talked to him every morning. before you went to work, and I do. And I'll keep remembering that forever. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Look, guys, thank you so much. He's working on it.
Family now, brother.
Yeah. Oh. Good luck with me, boy.
You proud of you stand up for doing
I'm just thank you so much. Our piece is going to air at 5 tonight, and I can send you the link once it's all put
If any way I
together.
can get a recording, I'm probably going to be driving.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll.
My cell phone number, I mean,
Yeah.
let me give my email address to you.
Yeah.
It's S as in Sam, T as in Tango, Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y, at,
Stupid one.
okay.
What is the
I got
first
it.
2 letters? I'm sorry.
S-T,
Okay.
M-U-R-P-H-Y,
Mm-hmm.
at, live.com.
Yeah, and I'll email it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And how many children do you guys have?
We only had 2, boy and a girl. Yeah.
Where is Tyler from?
So Tyler's a military
Yeah.
kid. We really have never, I'd say Vegas is, he lived the longest in Vegas probably. But we also lived 7 years in Hawaii, you know, but he was born overseas. We fought in Germany. We went from there to England for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
We lived outside of London, and then we went from London to Hawaii for 7 years. And to Omaha, Nebraska, and then to Vegas. And that's when he graduated high school in Vegas, and then we moved up to Chicago, but he went in the military only about a year after we'd been in.
And when he was 22.
Yep.
So, one thing I he's very proud, obviously.
Yeah,
He
that's
is,
it.
Oh,
he is a
okay.
Buckeye.
Buckeye.
Yeah,
He's a,
he actually,
We call him.
yeah,
Speaks
yeah.
to
They've
Oh, wow.
they flown him in to speak to the police before